All right, we just gave the players the high sign. We have to make sure that we also let the judge know so that he can keep track of their time extension. But Matt's going to start the game here with a Hallowed Fountain, and it'll be tapped, obviously, the Esper control deck, full of 1-drops. Just a Rootbound Crag here for Leanna. So off to a little bit of a slow start. She does play Avacyn's Pilgrim, but that looks to be her only 1-drop in this one. So not going to be too unusual for her to have nothing on turn 1 there. Did not see what, if anything, the Augur of Bolas grabbed from Matt here. It did look as though Leanna had mulliganed for this game as well, but Matt with the first creature on the board, which will be a big boost for him here. And Leanna actually did have the turn 1 Mana Dork in the Avacyn's Pilgrim, but the Rootbound Crags would not let her get it out immediately. We do see a Devour Flesh in Matt's hand.
So who do you think is gonna take this match?
Well, at least this game I like for Matt, the way he got started. The way Leanna tripped over her mana a little bit, and the Devour Flesh is going to take away her Accelerator. On the match in the overall, I think Control beats out the mid-range deck, and I would expect Matt to take this one down.
I do agree with you.
He attacks for 1, knocking Leanna down to 19, and we'll have to see what her play is from here.
I see a Huntmaster in her hand, which would have came down this turn.
Yeah.
She keeps drawing those Rootbound Crags, it looks like.
Looks like a Sacred Foundry, though.
Do we know what else is in her hand? We see the...
I haven't been able to catch anything else, but she'll drop herself down to 17 here for the Sacred Foundry untapped, and Boros Reckoner. So a pretty good threat here, yeah.
Especially while he's tapped out.
Yeah, definitely make sure he gets it in under the radar here.
An island and a pass the turn. You gotta think
Yep,
that it's
typical.
Azorius charm.
It's something you got to worry about, but I think she just has to kind of play into it and get his answers out of his hand as fast as possible, so that way there's an empty board. But looks like the Azorius Charm is there, and Snapcaster Mage for the Devour Flesh is the play for Matt. So Leanna actually, should be at 18 because she gained 1 life from the Avacyn's Pilgrim, and now with that card she'll go up to 21. So she's winning.
Yeah.
Not quite, unfortunately. When you're the aggro deck outnumbered in creatures, it is definitely tough. Looks as though she casts Farseek here, and Leanna's at 21.
That's good. Now I see it looked like Mizium Mortars and double Huntmaster.
Okay.
And I can't tell the third card, or the fourth card rather.
Well, with a Sphinx Revelation in Matt's hand and no damage being dealt to him yet, it certainly looks like Matt is on his way to getting towards the board state he's looking to achieve at the start of the game.
There's not enough early pressure that's been able to happen with that Devour Flesh.
Yeah, it's if it would have been a turn 1 Mana Dork instead of turn 2, it would have been a much different ball game. But Leanna was on the ball again in this game, so she was down to 6 cards.
Especially since we know that the Huntmaster would have came out, which she could have just sacked the token.
Yep.
She would have been in much better position.
Now, Leanna does have some really strong cards here, assuming Matt doesn't have counter magic. And I want to say I saw 2 Sphinx Revelation in his hand. He does have a land for the turn, but we'll have to wait and see when he decides to pull the trigger on those Revelations. The Mirror Charm also in his hand. So we know all the cards Matt's got, 2 Revelations and a Demir Charm. So the first creature with 2 or less toughness that Leanna plays is vulnerable from the charm. He can also counter sorceries.
She's going to be the Huntmaster, though.
Now, the Huntmaster, the first one, will likely die. I think Leanna just drew a Thragtusk. But she's doesn't have land number 5, so she's going to opt with one of the Huntmasters here. And Leanna has some really good draws here. She's got to get herself up to 5 mana, but she has 2 Sigardas and 2 Thundermaw Hellkites in her deck. So she still will be able to kind of turn this game pretty quickly here, as Leanna gains 2 life and goes up to 23 off the Huntmaster, which takes down the Demir Charm, as we said. really gives Matt another turn to draw and play a land here to make his Revelation better. So Revelation for 3 is not what you're looking
Detention
for.
Sphere.
But yeah, the Detention Sphere is going to stop his mana here. Personally, if I'm Matt, I would probably Revelation for 2 on my main phase so that I could try to get a land into play. If I'm going to be doing it at the end of the turn, I do it on the main phase just to keep dropping lands. But it does not look like Leanna drew a land this turn either. So she'll be stuck with
Some kind of
Thragtusk.
counter or some kind of removal.
Yeah.
I think again.
And really, she's just kind of got a window here to get back into this game.
What is it card he just drew?
It might be Sigarda. It's a little tough to tell from here. Also could be Loxodon Smiter. Those are my 2 picks. It does definitely look like a green-white creature to me, but Huntmaster number 2 hits the board.
And up to 25.
And that will likely get Detention Sphered after a Revelation for 2 here from Matt. So the way this game's going, like if Matt does not see a land in the top 3 cards of his deck, Leanna really has a window. If she can draw a land, get a Thragtusk into play.
I just saw a Hallowed Fountain at least.
Yeah, he does get 1
And,
and a
it looks like
Supreme Verdict. So Verdict is likely the card to cast here.
I'd be surprised though if he wouldn't attack first. Like, why not? You know?
Yeah, it's likely to get probably 2 of that damage in. I might just attack with Snapcaster Mage, you know what I mean? Not the Augur Bolus. It just telegraphs the...
But if you're gonna blow it up anyway, why not swing in?
Yeah, he's on a mill plan predominantly. There's really not much of a way for him to deal damage in his deck. 2 Restoration Angels, 2 Snapcasters, and 4 Augur of Bolus. He has a Memory of Death in the main board, and 3 Nephalia's Drowneyards is the primary win condition. So
We see.
Leanna's debating between a Bonfire that she just drew. She was keeping it separate. And just the power of getting a Loxodon Smiter onto the board. Well, which would you prefer? As she draws the Bonfire of the Damned and at least settles the debate.
I would honestly, I think, start putting pressure on the board before just playing the burn.
Yep, I agree with you. And Leanna makes what appears to be the correct play. Bonfire for 3 doesn't do her any long-term good, and her opponent was light on mana. So
This will be 3 every turn
yeah.
from this point out.
And now Matt really looks like he drew another Supreme Verdict, but I expect him to just kind of Detention Sphere that.
I think it's actually a land. It's Godless Shrine.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was a Supreme Verdict the whole time then instead of a second Sphinx Revelation, because it looks like his hand is Revelation. Oh, he drew that. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, never mind. I forgot he cast one of the Sphinx Revelations already.
Oh,
so.
he does have a.
Yep.
He does have the second Supreme Verdict and a Detention Sphere. Let me get a look at Juan's hand.
It looks like a land. I think a Cavern of Souls. Yep.
Which is going to be super helpful.
There are 3 Dissipates in Matt's deck. Not sure what he'll do with them in the sideboard. They're often valuable against midrange, but now that he's seen Smiter and Cavern of Souls, I personally would take it out. And Matt drops to 16 here as she attacks with the Loxodon Smiter. Say again?
Do you think she chooses Beast here, or is that for her Sigarda?
I think she's going to Sigarda here. It's so powerful. I don't know what she named on it. I would assume Angel if she's playing Sigarda. She will be pleasantly surprised to know that there's not really any counterspell in Matt's hand when she tries to resolve the Thragtusk. But Matt goes back up to 20 and draws 4 cards off his Sphinx Revelation.
Jace, Dragonborn.
It's like, no, just Jason some lands, I think.
I thought I saw.
Is that an old card, maybe? Could have been one of like an old art Dissipate, maybe.
Yeah.
But Matt does appear to have
I think he's trying to
stolen back the advantage. Yeah, he's just going to Verdict. Kill all the creatures. Play his land for the turn. And I think she drew Farseek there, so not an optimal draw. Expect her to just get a Thragtusk down, and she'll go up to 30 life, actually. So, not in any danger of dying in that fashion anytime soon against a couple of Snapcaster mages, but she just continues to lay threats here. As Matt cast the Think Twice, which was the card we couldn't identify.
And I see an Azorius Charm in his hand as well.
The Dissension art. Think Twice for Matt.
Matt's hand looking considerably better.
Yeah, and in this situation, he's got a Detention Sphere, which I think will take away the Thragtusk. Then if the 3/3 wants to block, he can just flash in his Resto Angel and just fight it in a fair fight in combat. And he moves the Detention Sphere to the front of his hand. It looks like that's what he'll be doing. Naya digs for the Beast token.
I was actually surprised there. The Jace Mills, correct?
Yep.
So he could have Azorius Charmed it back to the top of the deck and then milled it.
He just Azorius Charmed the Thragtusk.
If the Detention Sphere somehow goes away.
Yeah, he'll just have the Restoration Angel after it blocks the Beast, though. So that's why I like this play. And here it comes with the Restoration Angel, blinking nothing, as people have quickly discovered is just fine. 3/4 flash is clearly a quality creature. I guess as long as it flies.
Next, Matt's down to what, 3 cards again?
Yep. So Leanna just has threats, threat after threat. Now, another Cavern of Souls, further shutting off any dissipates Matt might hope to make relevant. Leanna's deck really does not have much in the way of non-creature cards. 4 Farseek, 3 Boros Charm, 1 Domri Raid, and it looks like 3 Bonfire of the Damned to round out the non-creatures.
And we see
in
the
Leanna's
second
deck.
Farseek that she's played going to get a...
Card out of her deck that
Temple Guard.
yeah, to take a land draw away from future turns, hopefully. As despite struggling early, once she hits 5, there's nothing in her deck that she cannot cast, and so the Farseeks just serve to prevent further land draws.
Coming up. Angel of Serenity.
Yeah,
And she does have that bonfire
in hand. Yep.
to be able to take care of the Restoration Angel, but I can't imagine that.
Or even just serve as like the world's worst blaze.
Mm-hmm. Looking at her deck list, she's got 3 of her own Restoration Angels.
As Matt resolves a Jace Memory Adept here. Curious to see how he's going to approach this here. I personally would +1 it, but yeah, looks like that's what he'll do. And Leanna's going to mill 1 card. Sigarda.
Oh, see?
That's
I like
there's always good mills when your whole deck's bombs, and obviously land and mana dorks are what Leanna wants to mill when it's only 1. But we get a Restoration Angel from Leanna at the end of turn. Matt did not attack with his Restoration Angel, saying, that color has some haste. Thundermaw Hellkite. Hopefully I'm able to call Leanna's draws here. We can get some more excitement out of this game.
Looks like the Azorius Charm, which is just super bad news if she tries any kind of removal on an attack here.
And what I thought was an Orzhov Charm, but unfortunately that can't be because he doesn't play any of those. So there is a mystery card in Matt's hand. But I've really been kind of surprised how the Midrange deck has been able to compete with the what's it called? The card advantage that the 2 Sphinx Revelations have generated for Matt. Really, his mana problems early were a lot more costly than hers because he should have just kind of run away with this game already by now. And it looks like we have a judge intervention.
That's the power of Sphinx Revelation. 7 life, 7 cards, all on your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
Whatever it was resolved.
And Leanna attacks for 3.
Just
testing the waters.
Yeah.
I play Gore Clan Rampager colors. Let's see how much guts you got. I don't care how many Pro Tours you top 8.
talking about the damage. So do you think he allowed damage to go on the stack here?
Well, damage doesn't use the stack anymore. Yeah, no, the damage appears to have resolved. I think they're just the bonfire's a sorcery. So,
and we see another think twice.
Trying to get some cards, and the 3 damage from the bonfire will eat away at the Jace Memory Adept. And a flashback on the think twice for Matt. I'll look at that later. He says
he's just going to draw that card and look at a fresh new 4.
Fresh couple. It always looks better when you've drawn 3 cards since the last time you look at your hand, even if it's all lands.
Oh, we get a Gripple 6.
There is an Azorius Charm there still. Yep. Flashback think twice for Matt. Seems to be really digging for an answer. It looks like he has already, with a Snapcaster Mage in hand as well. And the rest appears to be lands. Azorius Charm, Snapcaster, and a Sea of Lands. But Jace is still alive. So
we'll probably see a Snap. Let's see.
He's still a pretty good shot unless there's one of these Thundermaw Hellkites gets drawn. That I'm rooting for. Come on. Another Bonfire of the Damned.
I don't even think Hellrider is that great right now, right? Because she can play Azorius Charm, snap in.
She doesn't actually play Hellrider in this list.
Oh, I've seen Thundermaw. Okay, sorry.
So that would actually, I think Thundermaw is the better draw here.
But he does have the Azorius Charm, Snapcaster Azorius Charm play.
It looks like he's going to be Snapcaster Dimir Charming the Bonfire of the Damned. So counter target instant speed sorcery. Always a fun time.
Especially when it's a bonfire.
And I'm gonna get in, kill that Jace. Next turn. So Matt will likely play his Nephalia's Drownyard next turn, mill the Restoration Angel from Leanna here.
No, just plus pointing the Jace will do that.
That will as well, so he'll just do that and save it. With no pressure, though, the Jace has to 0 sometimes, right? Oh, there's a Sphinx Revelation in Matt's hand. That'll pretty much lock this one up.
Yes.
And I didn't see what Leanna drew here. Sunpetal Grove probably won't get there. She passed
the bombs in her deck.
Yeah, looks like she passed the turn, so the writing is all but on the wall here. See to what extent she just chooses to keep playing it out.
Is he just meaning this?
No, she played her Sunpetal Grove instead go, and he's doing it instead.
And he did it for, what was that, 9? Looks like. So he gains 9 life.
Yeah, I should be at 29.
And this foot race just got away from Vienna here.
Well, in this foot race, everybody's been moving backwards. Nobody's ahead of the starting line.
The guy with 9 cards.
Well, yeah, he doesn't care very much, but he hasn't started racing yet either.
Oh, wait, there's other ones. And I think I see the 4th and final Sphinx's Revelation in his hand.
Yeah, usually Sphinx Revelations draw you more Sphinx Revelations, but I don't think there's any way he's seen half his deck yet. The bombs just keep on coming here. Oh, her whole deck stuff she wants to draw, though.
We didn't see the Thundermaw get milled, so...
Nope, there should still be 2 of them, and that's likely the biggest. I mean, the haste is so big there that it's likely to be the biggest impact card. Matt has managed to not draw a Dissipate yet through all of his card draw. Yeah, like it's through and with 2 caverns out, dissipates are all but dead draws against anything Leanna wants to actually cast. Thunder, Drag Tusk.
It's not bad though. I believe that cavern did have beast on it.
She's at 35 now, and she gains 5 off Drag Tusk, and resumes milling cards. As she passes the turn, the Drown Yard takes effect. And the main phase.
Just drew that.
Yep. I've got enough mana, he says. Drown Yard number 2. Oh, one of the Thunder Maws. 2 Thunder Maws.
And the 4th Boros.
Yeah, it appears the 3 Boros Charms in the deck, so that's likely all of those as well. And it really appears as though Matt's got this one under control. So we'll have to watch as he wraps it up here. He's feeling good about getting all the knowledge of Leanna's deck here. And she would probably serve herself very well to stop playing before Matt has a chance to mill any more cards. Yeah, you actually cannot activate an Aphelia's Drown Yard in response to a concession.
And the fact she keeps drawing
Just
bombs is
swagged us.
staggering. It's like every turn she has something over 5 mana.
It's pretty much the whole card or the whole deck, other
Yeah.
than. But do you want to check life totals real fast? They're not really. Say they're not relevant.
It's 40 to 29, or 40 to 24.
Okay.
He's getting a rough count of the rest of her deck, and it
Looks like 7
next
cards.
turn, they're scooping it up. It looks like.
Yep. And Matt takes game 1, so we'll get that updated for
and
you.
She's just freely
Showing him.
her hand.
And giving him and letting him look through the graveyard before she picks up all her cards. Leanna's a
Very nice person.
very nice opponent.
And I feel like her opponent is taking advantage of that right now.
He's not taking advantage of it. That's for sure. Nothing against the rules about it. If she wants.
His
He's hit everything in his view
Yes.
quick enough.
Maybe he'll show her the sideboard. No?
Looks like Matt has blind obediences I would like to bring in if I were him. Also an Essence Scatter I'm sure will come in. And maybe some Tragic Slips. But other than that, not a whole lot here.
Let's see.
Yeah, Leanna's got some spicy cards.
I do like Rest in Peace for Leanna to bring in. We saw Think Twice is he was using his graveyard a lot for removal. He was using his graveyard a lot for removal, and with the Snapcasters and all the flashback, maybe getting rid of half of it.
I would personally probably just let Thalia and Triumph of Ferocity do the work here. She should probably bring in a Settle the Legion as well. Just against a control deck, if you resolve it, they just, unless it's Turbo Fog, they can't have that many answers for too many turns in a row. And it'll even out-advantage Sphinx Revelation in a hurry.
Yeah, and his board wipes really aren't that relevant when you have 10 tokens coming down with haste.
So it looks like a note here on Matt's registration sheet. It looks like this deck list is a nod to Andrew Cumio's version of the deck. Not a pro player I'm very familiar with, but I do know who he is. So it looks just like a real standard Esper control deck. When I play, I don't use the Restoration Angels, but I also don't always use the Snapcasters either, depending on the format, and those make it a lot better. And the rest of the Angels obviously interact pretty well with 4 Augur of Boluses in the deck, drawing a couple extra cards. As we watch these players figure out the mulligan plans for themselves here. And we're just kind of at their mercy to see how it's all going to work out.
Looks like Lana named her deck with a little bit of a tribute to Wizard of Oz.
As we take a quick look at the room here, as we said, there are 53 players in attendance today. We're looking at tables 1 through 4 here in front of us, and it gets farther and farther back. Some people you guys have seen on the stream that are in the house today. Andy Martin is here. Jimmy Ray is here. Leland Bliss is here. These are names you guys have heard on previous streams. They are back today again as well. And we'd like to thank our viewers for joining us as well. We do give away prizes here on the GameCore stream, and the GameCore website is fast approaching, and that means that I think we're probably going to be doing a store credit giveaway today for our trivia prizes, and that'll be redeemable on the website, which should be launching within, I'd say, at the absolute most 2 weeks, depending on inventory, but it should be before then if the most recent information I have is still the most recent information that's available. And we see our head judge, Bill Carrick, there off to the right. And Chris Wright, who we followed in the Gate Crash Super Draft there, also on the right. No, we didn't. But as long as you have it, and looks like just finishing up the last of the sideboarding here on Leanna's side. Maybe using a little bit more than the 3 minutes allotted, but
So if she brings in a
the judges across the room.
if she brings in a Assemble Legion and in the thighs, do you think that that's enough for her to take this game?
I would also bring in the Triumph of Ferocities, just because it's Phyrexian Arena without a life loss attached to it in her deck against that deck. So we'll have to see. I don't know.
The amount of pressure that she was putting on the board in game 1, I mean, the triple Sphinx revelation kind of got away from her, but
as it often does. And she mulliganed to 6, didn't have an untapped land for her turn 1. Mana Dork had to play it on turn 2, so it was just Devour flushed away immediately.
And still being at close to 40 life.
Yeah.
When the game ended.
Yeah. So, but as we were saying about the prize giveaways here, they get done in the top 8. Usually, it's regarding some sort of action you've seen throughout the Swiss rounds. We try to ask you about maybe a memorable moment from one of the games that was on camera, at the top deck or whatever it is. So the longer you sit and watch the stream, the more likely you are to win something here. And also, John gets very, very generous when he sees that we have a lot of people viewing viewing the stream. So share it with your friends, get a bunch of people in here, and we'll get a considerable amount. The prizes today, if you guys are curious how generous he gets with store credit, the winner will take home $1,000 in store credit here, usable again on the GameCoreOnline.com website, coming very, very soon, or usable in store. As they get started here, Leanna has a Rootbound Crag to start off again. Cavern of Souls, I'm sure we'll know what it named when she plays it here. Oh, no, we won't, because she plays a Farseek to ramp up her mana.
I do believe I see it looks like a Rest in Peace.
It does say, I believe she brought that in as well, so hopefully she can get some advantage from it. It's certainly a powerful card.
It does have a thing twice in hand, so
yeah,
it's just a cantrip for 2.
Yep, takes a half a card away from Matt already. I do hope she's cautious about when she plays it, though. It's not... You know, if she has, like, let's say a Huntmaster for next turn, she has to play that.
Yes.
And we see a Dissipate over there in Nat's hand.
It looks like a Zorius Charm, a Think Twice. There's definitely an Augur.
So Leanna draws a Stomping Ground.
I see a Restoration Angel in her hand. And what looks like a Sigarda on the very end.
Sigarda is one of the meanest creatures in Standard right now. The list of single cards that kill a Sigarda are very, very small. Also, it includes Clone, so they're not all playable. Thank you, Boros Reckoner, for being printed so I can have a better excuse to play my Blasphemous Axe. And I'm really curious if Leanna had a 4-drop here. The fact that the Loxodon Smiter can't be countered in spite of the Cavern of Souls. You know, she doesn't need that. So if she was able to play something... Although he doesn't have the counterspell mana open either, so she probably just doesn't have one. She wouldn't have been afraid of something that turn.
I'm curious what she did name with Cavern. It's got to be Angel if that one on the end was the Sigarda.
I would think so. That's the one she needs to stick, and hopefully she can even force a Supreme Verdict before she has to do that. But she didn't, and there's land number 5. So is that another cavern, or is that a wolf run also in her hand? If that's a wolf run, this is going to get interesting fast. I think Matt should pull the trigger on this now, and he does as he Azorius charms it. Cavern of Souls means his Dissipate is useless. And Restoration Angels it, which I like. They need to know that that would be untapped.
Yeah.
But other than that, hey Matt, can you let them know that the Loxodon Spider's untapped?
So you see the Augur Bolus drop down.
Yep, and he looks at 3,
Looks like he's
whiffs. He sees an Augur Bolus and 2 lands.
Just gonna pass the turn back.
Yep. Did he miss a land drop? She Farseek, so yes. Yes, he did. Brutal. Starting to look more and more like, well, I thought I saw a Drownyard in hand. I don't know.
Deciding whether or not she wants to
Play a Gussick Wolf Run,
Yeah.
looks like.
which I agree with that.
Yes. And you know, right here, if he doesn't Azorius Charm, if he passes priority, I don't Wolf Run anything. Just like
Oh, yeah.
7's fine. And it looks like Matt would like to think twice here. That's what his mana's for.
I really hope that in phase 2 she plays this Rest in Peace and still only lets him have half a card.
I still hope she keeps. I just want her to play Sigarda, I think. But I know he doesn't have a Supreme Verdict, so.
I don't think he has.
Witchbane Orb. Try to mill me now.
I think it was the Loxodon Spider we were seeing.
Yep. And
doesn't the Sigarda just come, or the Sigarda just come down?
see, she passed the turn and she had Rest in Peace mana open. Maybe we were seeing the Witchbane Orb.
That could have been. So he took 7.
Yes, so Matt is at 13.
And still
And
not
I
enough mana for a Sphinx's Revelation to really do too much here.
He doesn't have one either, so he's going to get a creature with his Devour Flesh.
Yeah.
No, target player sacrifices a creature. So Witchbane Orb says your Devour Flesh will do nothing. And that's a Boros Charm on Leanna's side, so she's looking like she's about to take this game.
Classic Wolf Run and a Boros Charm, you can get up to some huge damage.
And we see a Restoration Angel here.
And that's going to all but allow him not to be Azorius Charm.
And he sees 2 Sphinx Revelations in a land.
Which, quite frankly, he needed.
Yes, he had to have a Sphinx. Looks like he's about to double block the Loxodon Smiter to get a creature off of the board here. I would expect Leanna to just Wolf Run.
Yes.
Get some damage through, make sure both guys are gone, and let Wolf Run do what it does. Restoration, or I'm sorry, Azorius Charm is really like the only card that really stops her now at this point. But looks like she's got some way she would like to advance the board. And there's the Rest in Peace. So you'll have to get rid of your graveyard Jew there, Leanna, as Matt points out. So Matt with a one-card hand here, essentially. Another Dissipate, which only one Cavern of Souls this time. It's going to be relevant. If we could let our judge know, yeah, okay, she caught it.
Yeah.
Can't target me.
And he's got to read the Witchbane Orb. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, you have Hexproof. So, good call by Leanna there.
I think that's going to go back into his hand.
We had I don't know, because she named the target, and it's not a legal target. So my thinking is that it's not like can't be countered. You know what I mean? Like, you can still target the spell. She's not a legal target. But we'll have to wait and see. And yep, it goes back to his hand.
A little information.
Yeah?
Little sideboard helped her. It's always a boost of confidence.
Yep. You know, Witchbane Orb was a card we didn't even really identify as something that we would want to bring in. Not 1,000% sure it's right, but once you go into the rest in peace plan, she says, okay, you know, with both of those cards on the board, she's very well equipped into the late game, which she has not been yet.
So we see just a pass. So is he probably setting up for that draw 3 Sphinx?
Yeah. A very underwhelming draw 3 Sphinx, but it'll fog the combat step on the Restoration Angel.
So Witchbane Orb is also in there.
Leanna drops to 18 to play a Naya Stomping Ground there.
So Witchbane Orb is also in, though, for the Jace, right? Not being able to be targeted.
Yep, it shuts down all the mill plans. And Leanna's going to Wolf Run for 2, so Matt's going to take 5 damage here. Drop down to 8, but then he's going to gain 3 and go back up to 11.
So he's going to be looking for an Detention Sphere.
And that's 18 to 11.
Drew it.
We got to drop Leanna down 2 life points here.
So he drew the Detention Sphere to get rid of the Witchbane Orb, I believe.
Yep.
Which is going to be super relevant now.
Yeah. But it's just going to go with a Supreme Verdict.
Without attacking.
And she says, Boros Charm. And Matt's not too pleased there as he loses his blocker and she regains her board presence.
He didn't have a land that he could have played to dissipate that, or?
He didn't play it yet, at least.
That's strange.
But it looks like the land he had even was an Aphelia's Drownyard, so the color requirements on the Supreme Verdict, I think, kept him from being able to leave 2 blue open. And I think she drew a Triumph of Ferocity, so that would just be an incredible card for her. Even if she loses the Restoration Angel, I think if there's no creatures on board, I think she still draws an extra card. So Matt's default, this is where I want the board to be, nothing on it, says, oh, I lose the card advantage war against a green card.
It's the green Sphinx
Yep.
Revelation.
Blue players don't like being outdrawn by green decks.
No.
No.
And she's
Stupid Garuk.
she's got similar card advantage to him. And I mean, that Keswick Wolf Run with 7 mana out, that's gonna start doing work. And he's the Detention Sphere I thought was gonna happen last turn. And probably another Augur Bolus. Yep. And he does hit. Looks like it's going to be a think twice, which is really just a think once. With this rest in peace on the board.
I would like to mulligan my draw.
He's going to pass with Dissipate Mana. And I think we see another Restoration Angel she just drew, which is going to be huge. He's just going to play it. And now it ends up.
All right, so she's going to gain 4, go up to 22 life.
I think she should have played the Pilgrim first there, right? And just let it resolve.
Yep.
And decided to play that.
And she had the knowledge of the Devour Flesh as well, so a misstep there from Leanna. I think it's big that Matt does not have a Jace right now. Like, he can't, well, he can +1 Jace by milling himself, but he can't even, like, you know what I mean? Like, she drew a Boros Charm, so... well, I guess an Avacyn's Pilgrim is good in a world with Keswick Wolf Run, so looks like she'll be attacking for 1. see a think twice.
And there was even a spot earlier when he double blocked that he could have Boros run and pumped one with the, or she could have Boros run and pumped one with the Keswick Wolf run.
Yeah, if she only pumps one with the Keswick Wolf Run and
He'd be
onto a Restoration Angel, it's a 4/4, and then you just don't cast the Boros Charm because you can use it to 4 damage somebody.
He's also got double strike. I'm saying the double strike and the trample.
Right, it still only represents 4 damage to the opponent, so it can represent that in your hand, and then she had it for the Supreme Verdict. So I think she made the better play there myself.